Hello class. Today we ninth class are going to learn about characteristics of chemical reactions. A lot of chemical reactions are proceeding around us, but how will I come to know, or you will come to know, that reaction is actually going around? So there are four characteristics which we need to understand. First one that given is evolution of a gas. Whenever a chemical reaction is occurring, some bubbles will see coming out of it. That means that reaction is proceeding, like in zinc and hydrogen sulfide sulfuric acid reaction. In this, zinc sulfate is formed, which is in form of solution, whereas the bubbles coming out are of hydrogen. Similarly, there are large number of reactions. Reaction of an acid reacting with carbonates, they will give carbon dioxide gas. A second characteristic is that change in color. During the chemical reaction, there is always change in the color of the reactant when products are changing into product. A few drops of iron are dropped in blue copper sulfate solution. After some time, we'll see that the blue color of copper sulfate changes to green sulfate, ferrous sulfate. This change is telling us that something is going on. Now there is third condition, that is formation of precipitate. Certain chemical reactions are characterized by formation of insoluble solids. For example, we have seen sodium nitrate solution is there, and if in that we are adding some drops of sodium chloride solution, we'll get white precipitate of silver chloride and sodium nitrate is being formed. The last characteristics which is occurring is a change of state. During the chemical reaction, if two reactants, they are reacting with one another, are in solution form, they will occur in form of either solid or gas or liquid. Like one reaction is that you take ammonia gas and HCl gas. Both are in gaseous state. When they are mixed together, we get another form, that is ammonium chloride, which is a solid form. Next topic which we are going to discuss is about types of chemical changes or reactions. So there are four basic types of reactions which are given: direct combination, decomposition, displacement and double displacement. We will be discussing them and giving one example. In direct combination, we had seen when two or more substances combine together and give rise to one single substance. For example, carbon and oxygen when combined, they give carbon dioxide. Iron and sulfur when combined, they give iron sulfide. Now similarly, we are having a large number of other reactions also given in your book. That is the reaction between iron and chlorine giving ferric chloride. So there are a lot of examples in which combination is going on. They are given in your book, so you go through them. The second type of reaction which is given in your book is decomposition reaction, in which one reactant splits, giving two or more simpler substances. We call it decomposition. In decomposition, like AB is broken down and giving C plus D, or E may be giving E. During decomposition, it is occurring in the presence of heat or in the presence of electricity. Like we are having one reaction of mercuric oxide. This mercury oxide, when it is heated strongly, gives us mercury and oxygen. Similarly, we are having example of silver chloride. If silver chloride is kept in sunlight, which is white in form, will give us silver gray solid, and chlorine gas is released from it. There are some reactions like electric current is required for decomposition. That is example of electrolysis, which is being given here. In the absence of electricity, this reaction will not take place. So there are large number of other examples also being given, like calcium carbonate is there. Heating is required, then only the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide is formed. Reaction of ferrous sulfate is there. If we are heating it, gives us ferric oxide plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. There are certain reactions which are brought about by heat without any recombination on cooling. First they are heated and without recombination, we call them thermal decomposition. So metal hydroxides, Compounds of reactive metals are more stable. They do not decompose easily. There are a large number of compounds. So here we see one table has been given where they are telling about some hydroxide carbonates, that if you see the front one, sodium and potassium carbonate, they are stable to heat, but they are soluble in water. Now calcium, magnesium till copper, they decompose on strong heating only. Now the last one, they decompose on slight heating and gives metal. So there is a difference on heating them. You will find that the product obtained will be different. Similarly, bicarbonates are there. Sodium, calcium, magnesium bicarbonates are there. When they are heated, then only they get converted into carbonates, water and carbon dioxide. There are metal nitrates also given. So nitrate, sodium, potassium again are very stable. They decompose when they give from nitrate, they change to nitrite and oxygen. Now there are certain, from calcium to copper, if you see, these nitrates decompose to give metal oxides. Calcium nitrate giving calcium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. All of them till copper are giving the same type of reactions. But if it's come from mercury to silver, they decompose not to give metal oxide but metal. That's the difference between the calcium to copper nitrates heating and mercury to silver metal nitrate heating. That you should be remembering. Now there are some experiment which they said to be performed to check how to perform decomposition reaction. They take lead nitrate in a test tube and start heating it. Crystals will first melt, and further heating they will give us nitrogen dioxide gas with reddish brown gas, and yellow solid is left behind. In these experiments, what is important to be learned is the change or the characteristics of the reaction, which is a change in color, gas evolved or not evolved, that you need to learn with them. Like zinc carbonate is there. So zinc carbonate, when it is heated strongly, will give us yellow zinc oxide. But when it is hot, it will be yellow color, but when it cools, it turns into white. So these changes in all the examples are being given, which you need to learn. Now there is an example showing thermal dissociation. He said take some ammonium chloride in a test tube and you start heating them. Two colorless gases, ammonia and hydrogen, are produced. As these gases moves up at a higher part of the test tube, which is cooler, they again combine to form ammonium chloride. So these are the examples. We call them for thermal dissociation, not thermal decomposition. They first separate and after some time they again combine. So in thermal dissociation there is a reversibility sign being put in them. A simultaneous reversible decomposition brought only by heating, we call them thermal dissociation. There are a large number of other examples, so you go through them. Now the third type of reaction which is occurring after decomposition, that is displacement reaction. It is a chemical change in which more active element displace less active metal from its salt solution. Like in this case we are having copper sulfate blue color solution. If I am putting zinc piece in it, the blue color disappear and a colorless solution is formed of zinc sulfate, and brown color metal can be seen settling down. So the reactions in which more reactive metal displaces less reactive metals from its salt solution, we call them displacement reactions. It is not only occurring in metals, it is also occurring in non-metals also. In case of potassium iodide, if I pass chlorine gas, so chlorine is more reactive than iodine, it will displace iodine from there and form potassium chloride, which is colorless and gives a yellow brown iodine. So there is a series given, activity series, that metals and non-metal activity series, which one are reactive, which one are less reactive. You need to learn this reactivity series. The fourth type which is there in the chemical reaction, that is double decomposition reaction. This type of chemical change in which two compounds in a solution react to form two new compounds. Now we are going to learn about double decomposition, in which one salt are reacting with another salt and there is exchanging of their negative radicals among the positive. So A plus B reacting with CD giving AD plus CB. These type of reactions are basically characterized into two different parts. Reactions are two types. One is precipitation, the reaction during which exchange of radical a precipitate is being formed as one of the product. We call them precipitation reaction. We had seen a lot of reactions like sodium chloride reacting with silver nitrate forming silver chloride. In this case, barium chloride reacting with sodium sulfate giving white PPT of barium sulfate and sodium chloride. There are large number of reactions. So to show double decomposition reaction, first experiment I am taking, that is same one, silver nitrate and HCl or silver nitrate with sodium chloride. We will be getting a white precipitate in the test tube. White curdy precipitate will be obtained there. Okay, now with the case of barium chloride and sulfuric acid also we will be getting a thick white precipitate and solution is being formed. Now there is second type of double decomposition reaction, that is neutralization reaction. The reaction between an acid and a base that forms salt and water only. Clearly meant only salt and water is formed, nothing else is formed. That type of reactions we call them neutralization reaction. This reaction is basically between acid and bases. And one acid reacting with another base, they are giving such type of reaction. In neutralization reaction, a soluble base reacts with an acid or insoluble base reacts with an acid. So there are a lot of examples which you need to learn that. So this is all about this topic. Children, we are learning about energy change in chemical reaction. We said whenever a chemical reaction is occurring, there is always energy evolved or energy absorbed. So this energy can be in form of heat, light or sound or electricity. Every substance has got a fixed amount of stored energy in form of potential energy, or we refer it as chemical energy also. So a reactions in which energy is released, given out, we term them as exothermic reactions. There is always increase in the temperature. Before the test tube, you can check the test tube, it is cold, but after the reaction, when you check the test tube, it is hot. It's very much clear that what type of reaction it is, exothermic reactions. There are large number of reactions where we are burning fuels and carbon dioxide and water is formed and heat energy is released. You can take example of a calcium oxide quicklime. Put it in water, bubbles will come, his sound will be produced, and after that calcium hydroxide slake lime is produced, but test tube is very hot. It means it's exothermic reaction. Even formation of water. If you mix hydrogen gas and oxygen gas among themselves, they will be forming as what? Water, and large amount of heat is released. So all those reactions in which what energy is released or produced, we are using a delta sign. If you see here, what we are using, delta sign to show them. Now in our body also there are these reactions which are going on, like respiration. Our body is warm during that, or around us we are burning coal, petrol, kerosene, cooking gas, etc. There also release of energy is going on. Another type of reaction which is there, in which energy is absorbed, we call it endothermic reactions. And whenever these reactions are taking place, there is always decrease in the temperature. The test tube in which the reaction is taking place become cold. Large number of examples are being given in your book. Like one example of carbon reacting with sulfur forms carbon disulfide and temperature decreases. Or during thunder time, there is always atmosphere decreases. What happened during that time when thundering and all that take place? Nitrogen and oxygen gases react with one another and produces nitric oxide at temperature 3000 degree. If this temperature is not given, nitrogen and oxygen will never combine with one another to form this reaction. Now calcium carbonate or thermal decompositions are there. In them also we'll see they will not occur until and unless heat is not provided. Now there is one other type of reaction, that is photochemical reactions. The reactions in which sunlight is required, we call them photochemical reactions. There are a lot of examples. Now there is another type of reaction, we call it electrochemical reactions. The reaction occurs only when electricity is being provided. Decomposition of water, decomposition of potassium chloride. So this is all about our first chapter. Please finish the